Well, as we've been discussing tonight, the Teals are in a world of pain with campaign scandals mounting day by day. Well, to discuss, let's bring in Liberal Senator Hollie Hughes. Hollie, good to see you.
Hey, Sharri.
So we've had the Monique Ryan scandal. She's had more than anyone, but then also...
Which one are we talking about?
Exactly. The latest
we need to clarify which Monique Teal,
yeah,
Monique Ryan scandal.
I was dropping kids at school this morning when I heard Ben Fordham interview Sophie Scomps, and it was just so appalling. I don't know if you heard it, but the way she said, if I offended...
it's the apology without an apology, and it's so appalling. I mean, if you're bringing people's children, and particularly children who've died, so that family's going through horrific grief, and she's using that grief to score political points over climate change. I mean, these were the politicians of integrity, kindness. They were going to do it differently. And they're disgusting. And they are reaching at the bottom of the barrel at every opportunity, whether it is pulling down signs and husbands doing those sorts of dirty jobs for you, or whether it's the CCP helping out manning booths, or whether it's now dragging in a grieving family to push a climate change agenda. It's disgusting.
But do you think they get back in, or who do you think loses?
Oh, well, all of them would be my hope. I think that might be pushing a little bit too much. I think Monique Ryan is in trouble. I think Amelia Hamer's a great candidate in Kooyong, and I think Monique should be in trouble. Goldstein looks like we could pick that back up with Tim Wilson. Kate Chaney, I think, is in a lot of trouble in Curtin. I've been over in WA and they're doing a great job over there with Tom. So
I'm hearing that as well.
Yeah, so but I think Sophie Scomps in McKellar has really kind of shown the grub that she is. I mean, Allegra Spender
might be too late though.
Might be too late.
Many votes have been 4
and this is the thing. There's so many votes that have already been lodged, but Allegra Spender forgot she was on 7 boards. I mean, how does that relate to people who are struggling with cost of living when you forget you've got 7 directorships?
Which, I mean, that'll be a tight contest in Wentworth between her and Ro Knox.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that'll be a close one, I think. Look, I want to ask you your thoughts on the coalition campaign. You're an outgoing senator, so perhaps you don't have to be as careful as everyone else. What do you think could have been better?
Look, I feel like the last couple of days have been, not just from the coalition, from every side, even the Teals and Labor and everyone, there sort of almost feels this chaos has erupted in the last 3 or 4 days, and whether it's just too little, too late to really engage the electorate properly, because, as we said, nearly 4 million people have already voted. But I think for me what's been disappointing, I think Dutz has done a great job. I think Peter Dutton's been out there every day working really, really hard and doing his best to get our positive message and change plans out there. But I looked at Labor and they've got Murray Watt as their attack dog, and I don't know who ours is. And the fact we've got a Prime Minister who is an out-and-out liar. This is someone who lied about falling off stage when it's on camera. He lied about your $275 coming off. He lied about the Chinese warships and when they learn about the live fire exercises. He's now been found, what did Joe Hildebrand call it? Tactical obfuscation. I can't even say that word, but it's a lie, Joe. It's a lie.
Yes, exactly.
But, he's been caught lying now about Russia and Indonesia. This guy's an out-and-out liar.
The pancakes on the rocks recipe.
Everything he lies about, and that it just doesn't seem to have landed in the electorate. I mean, you cannot believe a word that this guy says. And, it was Clennell today, Andrea Clennell at the press club, an hour of my life I'll never get back after watching that. But it was Clennell that asked him some of those questions and, we're in a more friendly time slot for it, but caught him out like Malcolm Fraser did with the bullshit of the press gallery. And to watch that press club today, it was like he was hanging out with his best mates. It was sickening.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
That showed the Canberra bubble to a T. Absolutely.
Absolutely. But
that has been an issue as well. I mean, we've been covering it. And when I interviewed Peter Dutton on Monday, he said to me, he called the press pack travelling with him activists, not journalists.
Oh, absolutely. So many reporters now are not journalists. I did journalism when I started after university, and I can tell you we were taught to be impartial. That was our role, was to look at the facts and then give every sort of angle of a story and try and tease it out. Now they come in with an agenda and push that agenda. They're not journalists. They certainly didn't get the same education I got when it came to being a journo. But I do, I'm frightened for Australia when you look at the policy that Labor and the Greens have around unrealised super. It's an inheritance and a death tax, and yet that just hasn't come through. And, you know, the superannuation, it's going to upset family farmers and it's not indexed, the 3 million, so it's going to affect more and more Australians every year.
Hollie Hughes, so good to see you as always.
Thanks, Sharri.
See you next week.